Shabbos Daf Peiches. Today's daf is one of the classic dafim in Shas with many valuable life lessons. But first, we need to take care of the sugya that we started yesterday. It says in Seder Olam, which coincidentally was written by Rabbi Yossi himself, and that's the machlokes we have right now between Rabbi Yossi and Rabbanan. It says Yetzias Mitzrayim happened on the 15th of Nisan, which occurred on a Friday. And as we know, if the 15th of a month is on a particular day of the week, that means Rish Chodesh is on the same day. So that means that Rish Chodesh Nisan that year was on Erev Shabbos. We also know that since Nisan is a full month of 30 days, the following month must come out 2 days later in the week, which would be on Sunday. That's Rish Chodesh Iyar is on Sunday. Therefore, the following month, Rish Chodesh Sivan, since Iyar is a chaser, 29 days, that means the following month is going to come out 1 day later, not 2 days, 1 day later in the week, which puts Rish Chodesh Sivan on a Monday. And that goes according to Rabbanan. Although Rabbi Yossi wrote this goes according to Rabbanan. This is a brayso that says Moshe Rabbeinu went up to Shemayim on Monday and came back down. He went up on Tuesday and came back down, told us about the mitzvahs Hagbala like we had. He went up on Wednesday, told us about Afrasha, separated from your wives, and came down. And on Thursday, he built a Mizbeach. That's the day that Klal Yisrael said Nasa, and he was makriv a carbon. The brayso continues and says that on Friday he didn't have time. It doesn't mean that that's when Matan Torah was, says the Gemara. It means a concept of preparing for Shabbos. Here, even Moshe Rabbeinu, who had servants, he himself prepared for Shabbos, didn't have time. And now, the beginning of a sugya of Agadata, the Glila, somebody from Gaul came and stood over Reb Chizda and he darshan. He said, look at how beautiful, there's things given in threes. Tanakh, Torah, Nevi'im, Ksuvim is three. Klal Yisrael, Kayin, Kehanim, Levim, Yisraelim. Moshe Rabbeinu was born third after Aaron and Miriam. The Torah was given on the third day after Afrasha. This goes according to Chachamim, that there was 2 days of separation. And on the third day, Matan Torah, in the third month, Nisan, Iyar, Sivan, the third month. The famous Gemara, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu's kafa aleim har kegigas. He picked up Har Sinai and put it over them and threatened them. If you recall the Torah, great. If not, sham tiek v'raschem. That's where your burial will be. Rav Acha Bar Yaakov says, this is a great excuse for Klal Yisrael. Klal Yisrael was forced into the mitzvahs. Therefore, you can't come to them with any complaints. Yet, later on, 950 years later approximately, in the time of Purim, Klal Yisrael re-accepted the Torah out of love and not out of fear. It says, we say it in Kiddush, Yom Hashishi. What's the hay? That the 6th day of creation corresponds to the 6th day of Sivan when the Torah was given. Meaning, Kadosh Baruch Hu made a deal with nature, with earth, and said, if Klal Yisrael accepts the Torah, which that is the reason why I created this world, then I will keep you in place. But if they don't accept the Torah, I'll put you right back to Torah Vavayu. When Klal Yisrael said Na'aseh v'nishma, 600,000 malachim, corresponding to the 600,000 men of Klal Yisrael, came down and put on each Jew 2 crowns, one for Na'aseh and one for Nishma. And then by the Chet HaEgel, 1.2 million malachim came down and took away those crowns. And Har Sinai is where they got the crowns, and Har Sinai is where they took the crowns. And Moshe Rabbeinu was zoicha to take all the crowns, but L'as Lavai, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will return the crowns to Klal Yisrael. HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Klal Yisrael, who gave you the secret that you say, Nasa, we will do, and then understand what you have to do? You learned this from the Malachim. The Malachim also, they do before they understand what they need to do. Like the pasuk says, Kitapuach ba'atzei hayar, like an apple. Tosfos explains, referring to an esrog. An esrog can live on a tree from year to year. You don't have to pick it off. So the fruit comes before the leaves. Like Klal Yisrael said, Nasa, before Nishma. There was a Min, a kaifer, who saw Rava sitting on his finger and crushing his finger while his finger was bleeding because he was thinking and learning, and he didn't realize that he was bleeding. And the Min tells Rava, I'm a pziza, you're impulsive nation. You say you will do before you know. And here also, you sit down on your finger before you think. And Rava said, we're a nation that goes after HaKadosh Baruch Hu, b'toim leiv, out of love. We know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not going to steer us wrong. He wants our best interest, and therefore we didn't need to know what it says in the Torah. We know that it's a gift for us. You, on the other hand, you will go to Timayin, libavtini bachas meinayach. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I fell in love because of one of your eyes, but after you did Torah, after you kept the Torah, it's b'shtei einayach, in both of your eyes. These are psukim in Shir Hashirim. The Gemara tells us that Klal Yisrael acted like one of the worst things possibly imaginable, is a kala to be mezana under a chuppah. In other words, Klal Yisrael, as they received the Torah, they were getting married to the Torah, they went and had an affair with Avodah Zarah, with the Egel Azav. It's like HaKadosh Baruch Hu is sitting there by his chuppah, and we come and we give our perfume somewhere else. Yet HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't write in the pasuk his sriach. He gave us a nice lashon called nasa. And this is one of the most famous, amazing Gemaras. How does a Jew act when somebody insults him? Well, there's 3 levels. There's people that are insulted and they don't respond. That's a tremendous level. There's people that hear their shame, which is even worse, and they don't respond. And the 3rd level is even greater than the first 2, and that is you hear your shame and you take it with love. You take that shame and you say, I deserve it, I want it. And on that, the Torah says, the first creation that was insulted was the sun, insulted by the moon, and the sun didn't respond. And what happened? The moon was reduced and only gets its light from the sun that didn't respond. Rabbi Yochanan says every word, every one of the Aseret HaDibros that came out of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's mouth split into 70 languages for the nations. The Torah have a mashal, they're nimshal to a prince. A prince could kill at will and let people live, and so too if a person learns Torah, meaning with his right. In other words, he, with all his might, he tries to understand pshat in Torah and to understand its secrets, then it's the gift of life. On the other hand, if people learn with the left, they learn in order to outdo somebody else and to show them up, that could cause death. Even though Kadosh Baruch Hu was upset at us because of Chet HaEgel, nevertheless he commanded us to make the Mishkan, which resembles Shodayim. Every word, every dibur of the Aseret HaDibros that HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, the entire world filled up with perfume, and Klal Yisrael's neshama left them, and they were backed up 12 mil to the end of the encampment. What happened was HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought a wind, got rid of the perfume, and then the next word brought in more perfume. HaKadosh Baruch Hu was mechayim mesim with the dew, and then he again said another dibur, and then they died. And the malachim, they encouraged Klal Yisrael to walk back like a mother encourages her child to walk. When Moshe Rabbeinu went up to Shemayim to receive the Torah, the malachim said, why would a human being get this Torah? You waited, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, 974 generations. Why would you give it now to Bas Adam? And HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu, answer them. Moshe Rabbeinu was fearful to answer them. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, hold on to the Kisei HaKavod. And Moshe Rabbeinu said, look at the Torah. Nothing in the Torah really is appropriate for Malachim. You don't have parents, you don't have Ritzicha, Kina, you don't have Yitzhahara, you don't have Shabbos, you don't work. And they agreed to him, and they all gave him secrets of their own, including the Malach HaMavis, taught Moshe Rabbeinu how to use Torahs to save Klal Yisrael from the pandemic and tell them exactly where to stand between the live and the dead. And with that, have a wonderful day.